Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at what has been going on most recently and what we think is going to happen next. Now as I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Okay, let's make a start and jump right down into this. This is Bitcoin paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is the data source. As you can see, over the last couple of days, we've been saying that we've been trading sideways. We're waiting for Bitcoin to make a decision as to go up or to go down. We actually kind of thought that the market was going to go down. We had stacked kind of a few different things in the favor of maybe thinking the price was going to go to the downside. A lot more liquidity was down there. Essentially, we had wave counts that were indicating that that seemed to be a good area to be going for, and a few other kind of confirmations. However, this is crypto, so when you expect something, usually the opposite happens, and in this particular case, that is exactly what we see just here. This one wick in itself has proved that we are going up. Okay, now, it doesn't mean that we're going to go up much further, but it does mean that we have Bitcoin has finally made a decision. It's going up, right? So let's tidy this chart up. Let's get rid of some of this noise. Okay, and I'm just going to remove all of these, and I'm going to show you what we're talking about. Essentially, if I actually also remove these, because we don't need those, we had this dash line at the bottom, the dash line at the top, and we were saying that until Bitcoin decides to go up higher than the dash line or lower than this dash line, essentially, it's just ranging, it's just going sideways, so we need to make a decision. We thought that actually there was a higher probability of moving to the downside, mainly because this is where all of the liquidity is. And I still think this is going to come in here. This is not an indication that we can't go down. This is just an indication that this wave count is the one that is actually in play, which means we've got about 21k as the upper limit on this. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to jump into some of those kind of interesting kind of levels, and then we're going to talk about where things might go next, because this is a big trap if you ask me. Because a lot of the confirmations are saying that we have to come down and grab this liquidity and all these various different things that are down here. And basically by moving on up, this could just be a whole place to trap a load of long positions and then grab even more liquidity on the way down. So we're going to be watching out for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove this dash line at the bottom and remove this dash line at the top. And we're going to go ahead and actually draw the waves on. Okay, so we're going to start by drawing a fib just from up here. To this low area on this side, and then we're going to move this Fibonacci retracement tool over to this wick down here. This shows us with this 20,777, or approximately this level here. I'm just going to adjust it to about there somewhere. I'm going to leave it about there. It's as close as I'm going to be able to eyeball it here. Okay, so that allows you to see that. That is basically saying that this is a giant three-wave structure. Okay, and we don't have to worry for the most part about anything else that's happening inside it. For the most part, it's kind of quite simple to kind of think, okay, well, there's three waves there, and if we really wanted to, we can say, okay, well, there's three waves in here as well. Okay, and again, if we wanted to just kind of get confirmation on that, we can go ahead and take the measurements here as well, and we can go ahead and put this in here, and you can kind of see how this kind of comes in at 20,680. That means that we kind of have this little range just in here. Let me actually grab the right tool there. Grab a little box, just put it on here, and you kind of get an idea that there's this little slither where we might end up moving towards, okay? And all those kind of sub-wave counting, the ones that were looking like this are no longer valid, okay? They're done. So the ones that we are looking valid are all of these ones to this little range here. So if this is now our expectation that we have this slight push up higher before we move on down, let's take a look at the momentum behind the price. Do we have the momentum to do this? And yes, for the most part on this hourly chart, we've got the momentum to be able to go up to there. However, when we start taking a look at the higher time frames, such as the 4-hour, the 8-hour, the daily, and well, the weekly is actually in an okay spot, but it has moved a bit. So basically, all the macro timeframes are indicating that we are likely to see some kind of really big pull to the downside. Okay, so the liquidity on the way down is going to get grabbed at some point. Just isn't happening right now, and that means that we should be prepared for a small, tiny, little insignificant push to the upside. And I say it's insignificant. It's about 2%, 2.5% on BTC. With actually the bigger move coming here at like a 10 to 11% drop to the downside, if maybe even more. And this would complete, let me remove this subwave count because we don't want to get too much clutter on there. This would complete a bounce up here that would be considered a B wave. Okay, so this is an A, this would be our B. We'd then drop down into a C. We know that we have this $16,000 level, but essentially we might actually come down lower. So let's go ahead and talk about where we think things might actually end up going. Okay, so we know we've got momentum to the upside. That's a bit of a given. Let's go ahead and grab hold of the order blocks. Okay, now these, this indicator is the BB order block, so you can get this on TradingView. I'll put a link in the description below if you haven't got a TradingView account. It's completely free to sign up, but there you may need a paid subscription if you want to get more indicators than I think 2 on your chart. So just bear that in mind if you haven't got a TradingView account, but there is a link in the description below. So here we have the red sell order blocks, and we've got the green buy order blocks. So you can see here, this one, people are looking to sell at about, just short of $21,000. You can see that these areas have come right in here with our wave counts. So you can see that this actually is probably the area that we're going to go to. And of course, you can see these buy order books just down here as well at our kind of $18,000 level. These haven't changed. They still remain the same from yesterday and the previous days. Now, as you go up into different time frames, you see different sized order books. You can see them in different areas. Okay, so you can see that actually this comes down a little bit lower. You can come up to the 8 hour. You can see this one right in here. If you come to the daily and we bring this down, you can see this one at 15,000 for buying, and selling is all the way up there. So we know that this is going to be a real interesting area, and this is conveniently placed just above this 1.618, meaning that actually this could be a really strong place for a really good bounce to the upside. Okay, so basically we come up, we just hit that 21,000, for example. Maybe we shoot all the way down into this 15K area, a little bit overextending from our expectations of 16K, and then we can come up from here. That would be the best case scenario, but I wouldn't be confident until we see the waves, okay? But this is an interesting area, which is why we talk about it. Now, as I come back into our hourly chart, and we have these two areas here, and we start thinking about the real micro movements of Bitcoin, and we can go down into the lower time frames if you want. You can kind of see that here, up here, there's a sell order block. You can see some buy order blocks and so forth. But if I come up to the hourly and I go ahead and now use the HTF liquidity, well, we can start to see that actually there is definitely not much liquidity from leverage positions to be grabbed here. So the move to the upside is really, in my opinion, a bit of a fake out, a way to kind of increase maybe all of these long positions. Okay, this is going to just stop out some short positions before the price actually moves down. Okay, so just keep an eye on this, because I do think that essentially what's going to happen here is we're going to just move up. We're going to become overbought. There's going to be something, don't know what, that's going to create this big move. Okay, and it's going to take out all of these long positions. Okay, you can see this liquidity all the way down here. Okay, so when I look at it, I'm thinking to myself, there's very little reason for the market makers and the whales and the institutions to really push that price up any higher. It doesn't really have to. There's a little bit of liquidity here, but it's not exactly going to get them a lot of liquidity. They're not going to be able to do much with it. That being said, there are consequences to the price moving up. People start to FOMO in. You can see it with the altcoins. They're all getting a little bit more, going up a little bit. There's a little bit more encouragement, a little bit more confidence coming in the space. That is interesting, because I think that is the objective of what is going on. So they go up, come into this area here, grab tiny bits of liquidity, not much, liquidate the short positions, then pull down, liquidate all the people who went long, which will be more because the price goes up, people get confident, and then basically down here they'll then reverse it back up when people start shorting again. So understand that this market is literally just a game to these guys, and we need to be aware of how they operate so that we can at least follow them. Although I thought we were going to move down because this is where the liquidity is, I think they're moving up just to stop out anyone who's got short positions beforehand, but keep an eye on that. Essentially, I'm not saying this is a big move to the upside. We're completely overbought on the larger time frames. It's just a ticking time bomb as to when this actually does pull to the downside. So on that note, let's go ahead and take a look at this, right? This is our longs and shorts positions and how the sentiment is feeling, right? This is 5 minutes. So basically at the point of recording, this is 7:40 in the morning. So a little bit earlier than when you guys actually see this video going out. But you can see the sentiment in the space right here. 64.97% are people going long. 35% of people going short. You can see that within here, there's a couple of platforms that really do swing it. Bitfinex obviously feeling a lot more bearish and DYDX feeling a little bit more bullish. But for the most part, you can see things like Binance at 60% long, OKX at 58% long, Bit gets 50%, FTX is 78%, and so forth, right? So this is telling us that the sentiment in the space is to go long, okay? But we know that there's a limited upside, okay? We can see the order book right here. We can see that there's a limited amount of liquidity. We know that this is the end of our three-wave structure here. It can, of course, overextend. It could go through all of this and maybe try to get this at 22,800. That's also possible. Look at all that liquidity up there, right? And that could be what they're going for, but there's a huge gap here. They'd have to basically just take the price up there for whatever reason. And I think that comes at a much later stage. But, you know, this is crypto. It's possible. So we'll keep a close eye on those things. But essentially, you know, we're looking at a sentiment that is very much go long, and not really go short. But if we come over to here, we can see we've got really small liquidations. This has been the case pretty much now for coming up to a week, where the liquidations have been incredibly low. Okay, we haven't seen hundreds of millions of dollars in liquidations. This means that retail investors aren't really getting too involved. So we need to see more interaction. We need to see retail investors jumping into the market. How do you do that? Well, the price has to move up or move down rapidly to get people, you know, feeling like they can jump in and make some money. So with the prices moving to the upside, you get the occasional spike here and there with some altcoins moving up quite nicely. I think this is trying to build encouragement. This is market makers trying to get some retail investment or interest coming in, ready for the next big move to the downside. Here you can see that the liquidations in the last 24 hours have pretty much been Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. No brainers as to why we think that. As we come down, we can see, you know, the kinds of positions that were liquidated. Binance did the most at 38%. OKX was second place at 21%. Bybit was 15%, of which the majority of the positions that have been liquidated are short positions. Again, reinforcing the fact that I think that they're trying to stop out all of those short positions before the price actually moves in the direction they want to take it in, i.e. grab all of these red pieces of liquidity on the way down and grab that order block. Or more specifically, if I come to my daily, and I just actually remove my lines because I think they're in the way there, here you can see on this daily chart, there's little bits of liquidity up here, but these are quite high, and I don't think we have the momentum to take that out, but we have all of this liquidity and this order book down here. This is the liquidity I think that they want, not so much this liquidity up here, not yet. Okay, now I could be wrong on that, but this gap right in the middle is a pretty big gap, right? There's not a lot going on right in here. Okay, so this is going to be a real hard area to try to push the price through. There isn't a lot to swallow up those orders. So from selling or buying, not a lot happening. So where's the price more than likely going to go? It's going to have to come down here until these areas start to pad out again. At least that's my opinion of this. So 15,000 is the most interesting area. I think that's where the momentum is indicating that we're going, and this is all the liquidities up for grabs. I just think that this little bit of green has to go first. Okay, so take out that little bit of shorting positions, stop them out, then move the price down. That's what I think is going to happen here when it comes to Bitcoin. We can kind of see that the liquidations have been small. It's been short positions that have been getting liquidated as that price has gone up, and for the most part, I do think that we have to move down and grab this liquidity. As much as I want to see the price of cryptocurrency continue to grow and continue to move up, essentially, all I really do think is going to happen here is it's a liquidity grab. The price is moving up to stop out positions before it actually moves in a direction that they want to take it in. Guys, I'm going to leave this video right there. If you found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And of course, if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. And until the next one, guys, have a fantastic day.